Good morning. In the last classes, we have discussed stress, strain, Young's modulus. We solved numerical problems based on Hooke's law, and also when bar of uniform cross section subjected to direct load or normal load and corresponding strain. And in the very previous class, we learnt about principle of superposition. When a bar of uniform cross section area subjected to number of forces, how to find out the resultant strain, that we discussed and solved one numerical problem. In this class, let us consider bars of varying cross section, and we are going to learn here when a bar of varying cross section subjected to normal load or direct load or axial load, how to find out the stresses, strain, and the elongation or contraction depends upon the nature of force the bar subjected, and also when the bar of varying cross section subjected to number of forces, then how to find out the strain and stresses induced in various varied cross sections. So let us consider a bar of varying cross section to begin with. In order to understand bar of varying cross section, let us consider a bar having different cross sectional areas for different length. So this is a typical bar of varying cross section. You can see here the cross sectional area of the bar is varying from one length to other length for three different portions. Let L1 be the length of the first portion or first segment, L2 be the length of second portion or second segment, and L3 be the length of third portion or third segment. Let A1 be the cross sectional area, A2 and A3 be the cross sectional areas of second and third portions. Let this bar is subjected to an axial pull of P. So when bar of varying cross section like this subjected to axial pull or push, the total extension or contraction, if at all, if it is subjected to push, will be equal to the sum of the change in length of different cross sections due to the applied load. Let L1, L2, L3 be the length of the different portions, A1, A2 and A3 be the cross sectional area of different portions, and delta L1, delta L2 and delta L3 be the changes in length of different portion due to applied axial load. Then total change in length delta L is equal to delta L1 plus delta L2 plus delta L3, that is equal to P L1 by A1 E plus P L2 by A2 E and P L3 by A3 E. Here we have assumed that it is the bar of different cross section areas made up of same material. If the bar is made up of different material, means if the different cross sectional areas are of different material, then Here in this expression we can write E1, E2, E3. Now we can take P by E common factor, P by E into L1 by A1 plus L2 by A2 plus L3 by A3, that is delta L. So this is the general expression to find the total change in length due to the applied axial load. So when a bar of varying cross section subjected to axial load, total change in length can be obtained by using this expression. And the same concept can be used along with the principle of superposition when a bar of varying cross section subjected to number of forces. Now let us consider numerical problem in order to understand this bar of varying cross section and the combination of bar of varying cross section and the bar is subjected to number of forces. For the beam shown in figure is tested in universal testing machine comma, it is observed that at a load of 40 kilonewton, the total extension is 0.285 millimeter. Determine the Young's modulus of the material. The figure is like this. So this is the given figure. Here the bar of varying cross section subjected to an axial load of 40 kilonewton. The bar is having different cross sectional area, means having different diameters d1, d2, d3. For this, asked to find Young's modulus of the material. Now let us write the given data first. Given it is subjected to axial load P 40 kilonewton, that is equal to 40 into 10 power 3, and this is D1 is equal to 25 millimeter, that is equal to D3. Consider these portions as 1, 2 and 3 respectively. Then D2 is equal to 20 millimeter, L1 is equal to 160 millimeter, L2 is equal to 240 millimeter, and L3 is equal to 100 millimeter. It is asked to find Young's modulus of the material. Here we have come across one more name, it is called as universal testing machine. Universal testing machine is a machine which we use to conduct compression test, tensile test of different materials. Say which we have discussed, what already we have discussed this stress strain curve for the ductile material called mild steel. Even for brittle material also we can use this universal testing machine to check the to conduct the tension and compression test. As we use this instrument to conduct more than one or different materials, hence the name it is universal testing machine and it is universally accepted. These days we have both analog and the digital type of universal testing machine for the accuracy purpose and for the quick conduction of test. So that if you use the digital universal testing machine, we can avoid laborious calculations, and within fraction of minutes we can able to know the results. Now asked to calculate Young's modulus. To calculate Young's modulus we have expression that is total change in length. We have delta L is equal to P by E into L1 by A1 plus L2 by A2 plus L3 by A3. Here we know P, L1, L2, L3 knowns, and also given that the total extension observed delta L is equal to 0.285. Delta L is known, only unknown is E. Now let us calculate cross sectional areas A1, A2 and A3, then substitute the values here in this main equation, you will get Young's modulus. Cross sectional areas A1 is equal to pi d1 square by 4, that is equal to d1 is 25 square divided by 4, that is equal to 490.81 millimeter square, and you can write directly A3 is equal to 490.81 millimeter square. Then A2 is equal to pi d2 square divided by 4, that is equal to pi into d2 is 20 square divided by 4, that is equal to 314.15 millimeter square. Substitute these values here in this equation, you will get Young's modulus. Therefore Young's modulus E is equal to P divided by delta L into L1 by A1 plus L2 by A2 plus L3 by A3, that is equal to 40 into 10 power 3, that divided by 0.285 into L1 is 160 divided by 490.81 plus L2 is 240 divided by A2 is 314.15 plus L3 100 divided by 490.81. Solving this, we will get Young's modulus E is equal to 181.56 into 10 power 3 Newton per millimeter square. Suppose if they give Young's modulus, we can calculate the change in length directly. So like this we can the solve problem when a bar of varying cross section subjected to the axial load. Now let us consider another problem which is a combination of bar of varying cross section and a bar is subjected to number of forces. Determine the stresses in various segments of circular bar shown in figure. Also compute the total elongation taking Young's modulus as 195 GPa. Now consider or it is given a bar of varying cross section having different diameter and a different segmental length. The length of first portion is 100 millimeter, second portion length is 200 millimeter, the third segment length is 150 millimeter. This bar of varying cross section having different diameters, the first segment having diameter of 20 millimeter, here the pi symbol indicates diameter, even if it is not mentioned the circular bar, if they give like this, it is the diameter. The second portion having a diameter of 25 millimeter, and the third portion having diameter of 15 millimeter. This bar of varying cross section is subjected to number of forces. It is subjected to a leftward force of 100 kilonewton for the first segment. Between segment 1 and 2, there is a rightward force of 300 kilonewton, and between the segment 2 and 3, there is a leftward force of 250 kilonewton, and the right hand side of the bar is subjected to a rightward force of P. For this, it is asked to find stresses induced in each portion, and also asked to find total elongation of this bar by taking Young's modulus as 195 GPa. Here in fact three unknowns are there. Firstly, we need to calculate this P, the magnitude of P is unknown. Then secondly, we need to calculate stresses induced in different segments or portion, and thirdly, we need to calculate total elongation. As we already discussed and we solved one problem on this, when a bar of uniform cross section subjected to number of forces, first we have to draw the free body diagram of this given bar, and after drawing free body diagram, we have to check the equilibrium condition of different portions. Let us consider these segments one by one. Segment 1, 2, 3. So this segment first for one is having a length of 100 millimeter. And while solving problem, consider the leftward portion acting, leftward force acting, or the force acting to the left of the section, whether it is a tensile force or compressive force as it is, or even otherwise also when we take section at the middle portion of the segment, if we compare the forces, there will be only one force. Take section here, and there is only one force right along with their direction, and consider forces to the right hand side of the section, and there are three forces. Treat one direction as positive, other direction automatically the other direction will be negative. Here to compare these forces, you need this P, that we have to calculate first. For equilibrium, applying sigma h is equal to 0, algebraic sum of all the forces is equal to 0. That is, let us stick to our conventional sign convention. That is, we treat leftward as negative and rightward as positive. 100 plus 300 minus 250 plus P, that is equal to 0. 300 plus P is equal to 250 plus 100, that is 350. Therefore, P is equal to 350 minus 300 is equal to 50 kilonewton. Like this we can calculate P. If it is acting like this, even if the P is acting here or there, wherever it acts, we can calculate P, the magnitude of P, by applying a equilibrium condition like this. Now, if we consider forces to the right hand side of the section, there are three forces, 300, 250, P. Treat one direction as positive. It is Consider rightward as positive, 300 plus 50 minus 250. When we consider one direction as positive, automatically the other direction will be negative. 300 plus 50, 350 minus 250, it will be 100, and the remainder load or force acting in the rightward direction. So it is 100 kilonewton. Now segment 1 is in equilibrium under the action of 100 kilonewton tensile force. Consider second segment. Take section here at the middle of the second segment. Compare the forces. To the left hand side there are two forces, 300 kilonewton, 100 kilonewton. Obviously we consider that the higher magnitude force as positive and the lower magnitude as negative. So if we consider rightward as positive, automatically the leftward will be negative. 300 minus 100, 200 kilonewton, the remainder load acting in the rightward direction. 300 minus 100 is equal to 200 kilonewton, and if you consider forces to the right hand side, again there are two forces, 250 kilonewton and 50 kilonewton. Consider again the higher magnitude direction as positive and the opposite direction will be negative. The higher magnitude of force acting in the leftward direction positive, 250 minus P is equal to 50 kilonewton, already we calculated. 50, that remaining is 200 kilonewton, the remainder load acting in the leftward direction. So segment 2 is in equilibrium under the action of 200 kilonewton compressive load. Consider third segment. Take section here. To the left side there are three forces. It is 250, 100 and 300. Consider one direction positive. So 250 plus 100, 350. Consider leftward as positive and rightward as negative. It is 100 plus 250 minus 300. The remainder load acting in the leftward direction, it is 50 kilonewton. 100 plus 250, 350 minus 300, 50 kilonewton remainder load acting in the leftward direction. And to the right side there is only one force, it is 50 kilonewton acting in the rightward direction. So the second portion length is 200 meter. And the length of third portion is 150 millimeter. So segment 3 is in equilibrium under the action of 50 kilonewton tensile force. Now we can write the given data. After balancing different segments, here there is confusion to write P1, P2, P3. Though there are 3 segments, there are 4 loads. After writing drawing free body diagram, we can confidently say that it is the segment 1 is in equilibrium under the action of a single load 100 kilonewton tensile. Segment 2 is in equilibrium under the action of a compressive load 200 kilonewton, and segment 3 is in equilibrium under the action of 50 kilonewton tensile load. Now write L1 is equal to 100 millimeter, L2 is equal to 200 millimeter, L3 is equal to 150 millimeter. Then Young's modulus is given, Young's modulus is equal to 195 GPa, that is equal to 195 into 10 power 3 Newton per millimeter square. Given D1, that is equal to 20 millimeter, D2 is equal to 25 millimeter, and D3 is equal to 15 millimeter. We can also write P1. P1 is equal to segment subjected to tensile load of 100 kilonewton, 100 into 10 power 3 Newton. P2 is equal to, it is subjected to compressive load of 200 kilonewton minus 200 into 10 power 3 Newton, and P3 is equal to 50 into 10 power 3 Newton. Asked to find stresses induced, F1 is equal to question mark, F2 is equal to question mark, F3 is equal to question mark, and also the total elongation means total change in length. Then now calculate cross sectional areas. Cross sectional areas, A1 is equal to pi d1 square by 4, that is equal to pi d1 square by 4, that is equal to 314.15 millimeter square. A2 is equal to pi d2 square by 4, that is equal to pi into 25 square divided by 4, that is equal to 490.87 millimeter square, and A3 is equal to pi d3 square divided by 4, that is equal to pi into 15 square divided by 4 is equal to 176.71 millimeter square. After calculating cross sectional areas and by knowing P1, P2, P3 of different segments, we can calculate the stresses induced in different sections F1, F2, F3. Next, stresses induced in different segments that is F1 is equal to P1 by A1, that is equal to P1 is 100 into 10 power 3, that divided by A1 is 314.15 is equal to 318.31 Newton per millimeter square. Next, F2 is equal to P2 divided by A2. P2 is equal to minus 200 into 10 power 3 divided by 490.87, that is equal to 407.43 Newton per millimeter square, and it is of course negative. We have substituted negative value of P, the stress will be negative stress. F3 is equal to P3 divided by A3. P3 is 50 into 10 power 3 divided by A3 176.71 is equal to 282.94 Newton per millimeter square. Next, it is asked to calculate total elongation. So, total elongation delta L is equal to question mark. Next, we have delta L is equal to delta L1 plus delta L2 plus delta L3, that is when a bar of cross section bar subjected to number of forces according to principle of superposition, the total strain is equal to algebraic sum of the strain caused by the individual forces. This can be conveniently written as P1 L1 by A1E plus P2 L2 by A2E plus P3 L3 by A3E. Take E common factor, left with P1 L1 by A1 plus P2 L2 by 1 over E, take common factor, P2 L2 by A2 plus P3 L3 by A3. Now carefully substitute the values here. While substituting values, have to consider negative sign here. Do not consider negative sign here. If you take negative sign here, here it should be positive. That is equal to 1 over E is 195 into 10 power 3 into P1 is 100 into 10 power 3 multiplied by 100 L1 divided by A1 is 314.15 minus, because P2 is minus, P2, that is 200 into 10 power 3 into 200, the divided by A2 is 490.87 plus P3 is 50 into 10 power 3 into L3 150 millimeter, the divided by A3 176.71. So if we solve this, we will get delta L is equal to minus 0.036 millimeter. In the problem asked to calculate total elongation, we got negative value. So this negative value of delta L indicates it is a contraction, and there shall not be any confusion. If you adopt the correct procedure and solve the problem, whatever the value we get, it is a negative or positive, that will be same. Though it is asked elongation, since the worked out value is negative, we can write one line that it is the negative value of delta L indicates it is the contraction. Consider another numerical problem. Find the total deformation in the bar shown in figure. Also find stress in each portion. The given bar is like this. bar of varying cross section of same length for 3 portions having length 200 millimeter. So, diameter of different portions are, first portion it is 20 millimeter, second portion it is 16 millimeter, and the third portion having diameter of 12 millimeter. Consider this as 1, 2 and 3. It is subjected to an axial load of 50 kilonewton. For this, asked to find total deformation and also find stress in each portion. A bar of varying cross section subjected to an axial tensile load of 50 kilonewton, given diameter of different portions, asked to find total deformation and stress in each portion. As the bar is subjected to an axial force, single axial equal and opposite pull, here no need to draw the free body diagram. Consider the bar as it is. But I have to calculate diameters of different portions D1, D2 and D3 given. You can calculate A1, A2 and A3. To find total deformation, we have expression delta L is equal to delta L1 plus delta L2 plus delta L3. If you rewrite the equation, you will get expression in terms of Young's modulus, and calculate total change in length in terms of Young's modulus only, because Young's modulus is not given. That is the change in this problem. To calculate change in length, total deformation in terms of Young's modulus. Now let us write the given data. L1 is equal to 200 millimeter, that is equal to L2, that is equal to L3. D1 is equal to 20 millimeter, therefore A1 is equal to pi D1 square divided by 4, that is equal to pi into 20 square divided by 4, that is equal to 314.15 millimeter square. D2 is equal to 16 millimeter, therefore A2 is equal to pi D2 square divided by 4, that is equal to pi into 16 square divided by 4 is equal to 201.06 millimeter square. D3 is equal to 12 millimeter, therefore A3 is equal to pi D3 square divided by 4 is equal to pi into 12 square divided by 4. Solving will get A3 113.09 millimeter square. Given P is equal to 50 kilonewton tensile load, 50 kilonewton, that is equal to 50 into 10 power 3 Newton. Asked to find Young's modulus, total deformation, delta L is equal to question mark. Then stresses in different portions. F1 is equal to question mark, F2 is equal to question mark, and F3 is equal to question mark. We have total deformation comma delta L is equal to delta L1 plus delta L2 plus delta L3, that is equal to PL1 by A1E plus PL2 by A2E plus PL3 divided by A3E. Let us assume that the bar of varying cross section is made up of same material, hence Young's modulus will be same. Take this applied load and Young's modulus common factor, P by E into L1 by A1 plus L2 by A2 plus L3 by A3, and if you substitute values here, P is 50 into 10 power 3, substitute E value as it is, into L1, again we could have taken this L1 is equal to L2 is equal to L3 is equal to L3, that also common factor. Let us, no problem, let us write 200 divided by A1 is 314.15 plus L2 again 200 millimeter, that divided by A2 201.06 plus L3 again 200 millimeter divided by A3 113.09. Solving this, you will get the total deformation is equal to 169.99 divided by E, that is in terms of Young's modulus. Next, stresses induced in each portion. Let F1, F2 and F3 be the stresses in each portions, then F1 is equal to P divided by A1, that is equal to 50 into 10 power 3, that divided by A1 is 314.15, will get F1 159.15 Newton per millimeter square, comma F2 is equal to P by A2, that is equal to 50 into 10 power 3, A2 is 201.06, that is equal to 248.68 Newton per millimeter square, and F3 is equal to P by A3, that is equal to 50 into 10 power 3 divided by A3 113.09, that is equal to 442.12 Newton per millimeter square. So, like this we can work out the total deformation and stresses in each portion. Here while solving problem, I have written like this, F1, F2 like this. Better you write expression F1 first, F1 is equal to P1 by P by A1, substitute values, calculate results, write. Below that you write F2, F3. Because of space constraint I have written here. Let your the write up should be step by step like the algorithms. That enhances the beauty of write up. So let us stop at this level. We will continue in the next class.